As well as reviewing your team of the seasons in Discord, I'll explain my choices for team of the season. First of all, to figure out and build a team of the season, you need to look at stats from players in the Premier League, and that is why OneFootball is so good. On the Premier League page, there is a tab for stats where we can see the top goal scorers, Harry Kane. We can tap onto his player profile and see more in depth. As we do that, going over to his season, we can see the amount of goals scored, his defensive statistics, we can see the amount of assists he's got and his passing accuracy, and then more in depth on the goals he scored. We can see he's got 4 headed goals, 17 of his 21 goals have been inside the box, 4 outside. There's so much to look at here, in-depth stats for all players in the Premier League to back up the reasoning for your team of the season. So to download OneFootball, all you need to do is click the link in the description. So let's start then with my team of the season. My first pick, I'm going to go with the goalkeeper, and I have gone for EMILIANO Martinez, Aston Villa's goalkeeper. The main reason for that, well, Aston Villa brought him in last summer to improve their defence and concede less goals, and they've been able to do that. They've improved their defence, and a big reason for that is the goalkeeper making so many saves and leading to him having the highest save percentage in the Premier League, which is a massive reason to choose him as your goalkeeper. Previously, Villa were rotating their goalkeeper quite often, and Pepe Reina came in for the second half of last season. Where Martinez hadn't been getting game time at Arsenal, Aston Villa spotted him as a quality goalkeeper, and the new goalkeeper has really been able to change the way that Aston Villa can play football, being a better team in the Premier League this season. So then that's the first pick sorted as the goalkeeper. We can move into the defence now, and at left back, I think we can all agree on Luke Shaw at Manchester United. I'd probably go to say he's one of the most improved players in the Premier League, never mind just a selection for the team of the season. I think he's improved so much from what we've seen previously, especially under Jose Mourinho. What we've seen from him in particular is the way that he can carry the ball up pitch with ease, and then he seems to get himself into the final third so easily to create a chance for the forwards. It's no surprise that when we look at the stats, Luke Shaw is second in the Premier League for the most carries into the final third with 89, only Pedro Neto above him. It's led to him getting 5 assists and 1 goal in the Premier League this season, making him my left back in the team of the season. Staying with fullbacks, let's go to the opposite side at right back, and I've got an interesting choice here. I've actually gone with VLADIMÍR COUFAL. The reason for me picking him is I feel he's just been so well-rounded for West Ham and heavily influential to the way that they play. We know how well West Ham have done this season, fighting for the Champions League. It doesn't seem like it's going to happen now, but they're up there for European football, and a massive part of that has been their fullbacks. And I wanted to give their fullbacks recognition. I couldn't really give it to Cresswell at left back, but I can give it to COUFAL at right back. When you look at defenders with the most assists in the Premier League this season, you've got Digne and Cresswell on 7, which is the most, and then second is COUFAL with 6. And it's the same kind of thing when you look at key passes for defenders in the Premier League. COUFAL has the 6th most with 43. Accurate crosses, he's up there once again with 31, the 7th most. But like I said at the start, I picked COUFAL because of how well-rounded he's been, and the reason for that, 72 tackles won in the Premier League, is the 16th most. In COUFAL, you've got an energetic fullback who's been influential in attack but also strong in defence, and that is the reason why he's in my team of the season. Looking in between them then at the centre-backs, the obvious choice is Ruben Dias at Manchester City. What a signing he's been. City have signed many centre-backs recently with Laporte coming in and Ake, but Ruben Dias has been one that has really stood out. For a new player coming into the Premier League, he seems to have settled really well, and I don't think City would have gone on that ridiculous win streak without him. A big part of that win streak that they had was the amount of goals they were conceding, hardly any, and Ruben Dias in a partnership with John Stones was just really hard for teams to beat. That's why he gets into my team of the season, but also why he overall seems a popular choice for everyone's team. Next to him then, I went with another new signing in Wesley Fofana at Leicester City. Coming in his debut season, but joining as a teenager, now he's 20 years old. For a young centre-back, he's been so impressive to watch over the last season. Leicester brought a centre-back with a different style to the ones that they currently had. Fofana's more open to bring the ball out the defence himself while carrying the ball, and we can see how well and effective he's been at doing this. His progressive distance while carrying the ball is just over 4,700 yards, which is the 12th most in the Premier League. What this tells us is that he is a centre-back who's open to getting the ball, receiving it, and then running up the pitch further towards goal himself. A young but confident centre-back fitting right into the Leicester team and getting into my team of the season. That completes the defence. We'll now move into the midfield and begin with the so-called defensive midfielder, and I say so-called, is Tomáš Souček. Is he really a defensive midfielder? Because a big reason as to why I'm putting him into the team of the season is the amount of goals he scored from midfield. His current number of Premier League goals stands at 9, and a stat which might surprise you a little bit is that Souček has had the most shots for West Ham this season. 56 shots currently stands joint with Mikel Antonio. He's getting into those goal-scoring positions in the box, getting on the end of crosses from Cresswell or Sofal. It's the perfect thing to do though with the height that he has, and he's won the most aerial duels in the Premier League this season also with 210. From winning the most aerial duels, he's also got 3 headed goals. And then of course the defensive side of things too. 69 tackles won is the 19th most in the Premier League, and then 55 interceptions is the 13th most, so he's been heavily influential in many departments. For me, he has to be in the team. I will let you know that Gundogan isn't in my team, and I probably debated over SOUČEK or Gundogan. I know other people have Gundogan in their team, and where Gundogan was really influential for that one part of the season where he was scoring a lot of goals, I feel that SOUČEK has been consistent throughout the whole season. And in a team like West Ham, they wouldn't be the same without SOUČEK, whereas City would kind of be the same without Gundogan. And then with the central forward / attacking midfielders, the first one we'll go for is Bruno Fernandes. Of course, he has to be in there. I think he's in most people's team of the season, and we knew coming into this campaign that we would see a full season from Bruno Fernandes, and he's been fantastic throughout the whole of it. 17 goals scored and 11 assists from midfield. 17 goals, by the way, is quite incredible. Well, 9 of them are penalties, but he's still got to put the penalties in the back of the net, and that's exactly what he's done. Where you see the best assist to goal record in the Premier League this season being Kane to Son and then Son to Kane, the third best is Fernandes to Marcus Rashford. They've been able to link up really well, and of course Manchester United just wouldn't be the same without Bruno Fernandes in the team now. Another consistent creator who always shows quality, he's been one of the best players in the Premier League, is Kevin De Bruyne, and he still gets into my team of the season. Now, where people have been debating recently about the minutes you've played and whether that deserves getting into the team of the season, there's some other players in different positions which we'll cover soon, but Kevin De Bruyne has played 1,900 minutes in the Premier League. He hasn't hit the 2,000 minutes played mark yet. He's started 22 matches, and they are some important numbers to remember that we'll refer back to when we talk about the next player. Before we get to him though, let's just round off on Kevin De Bruyne. He still gets into the side due to his fantastic passing and incredible creative qualities. 5 goals, 11 assists, 74 key passes is the 4th most in the league. Maybe some other people don't select him in their team of the season, however he gets into mine, and the same debate can be said about Jack Grealish. Now he gets into my first team, and those numbers we talked about a moment ago, let's bring them into this debate. So 1,900 minutes played for Kevin De Bruyne is basically the same as Jack Grealish. People are putting Kevin De Bruyne in there and aren't really bringing up this debate with him. In the previous team of the season, we saw David Silva get into there, and he only played 1,800 minutes in the Premier League last season. So it seems the PFA are willing to put these players into the team of the season, so Jack Grealish is going into mine. Anyway, it might be that he comes back into the Villa team before the end of the season and gets just over 2,000 minutes played. I don't think we can just dismiss his quality like that and the influence he had on Aston Villa, especially at the start of the season. Aston Villa has sort of fell out of the European conversation because of Jack Grealish not being in the side. The injury has affected their form, and when he was in the team, he was one of the best players, never mind in the Aston Villa team, but in the Premier League. 24 matches he played with 16 goal contributions and one of the best link-ups in the Premier League. He assisted for Ollie Watkins 4 times, which is the 4th best link-up in the Premier League this season. We know how good of a player he is, we know how good he is to watch, and we hope that he will be at the Euros this season playing game in, game out. Let me know what you think of Jack Grealish being in the team of the season. Would you put him in yours? And do you think he should be in the PFA team of the season? Let me know what you think in the comments. Another player who deserves recognition, and at the start of the season I didn't really rate him as much as I do now for sure, and that's Mason Mount at Chelsea. He gets into my team of the season. To turn around from what I thought of him to what I think of him now and being a starter in that England team, I think is credit to how well he's played in this Chelsea team this season. The 2nd most key passes in the Premier League with 78, and always in the build up to chances being created with 146 shot creating actions. And for Chelsea, while Mason Mount is really a core part of the team defensively as well, tackles won 73 is the 2nd most after Kante. The most accurate crosses for Chelsea with 56, and then the 3rd most successful dribbles with 42, with the 3rd most attempted pressures in the league, 632. And as well as that, in the top 10 for most attempted pressures, Mason Mount has the best success rate. Everything here is so impressive from the Chelsea midfielder, 22 years of age still, and he's really become a core part of the Chelsea team, and that is the reason why he's in my team of the season. People will say he shouldn't get in because of the number of goals or assists he's got, and I know he isn't exactly a right winger. He is an attacking central midfielder, but I couldn't really get him into those positions with Kevin De Bruyne and Fernandes there already. He does find himself out in those wide areas regularly anyway, and for a team of the season it doesn't exactly matter. Debate all you want, let me know in the comments what you think of Mason Mount in a team of the season. He's in mine. Which leaves us with the striker, which is obviously Harry Kane, the most goals in the Premier League, the most assists in the Premier League with 21 goals, 13 assists. You have to say, would he get that many goals, or in particular that many assists under a different manager? Under Jose Mourinho, everything was going through him, as it was mainly the ball firstly going to Harry Kane, he'd hold it up and then pass it to Heung-min Son where he'd finish it off. Of course, course, he keeps up the amount of goals he's scoring, but I do have to question, will he get that many of assists again next season? So that's my team of the season. I'm now going to review some of your team of the seasons in my Discord server. Beginning with Steven here, who also has Martinez in goal. I like that pick. Cancelo at right back, I went with SOUFEK, but Cancelo was another one that I was debating over, so I like it. You have gone with Gundogan. I understand that choice, but I just didn't go for it personally. With the next one we've got here from T Pele, Mendy in goal, Chelsea's goalkeeper. I really like this one actually. I wouldn't go for it myself because I just think Martinez has been the best goalkeeper for me, but definitely Mendy to get recognition in a team of the season I do like. Matty Cash at right back is a really good choice, a player that I like a lot. I'm not sure if he exactly gets into a team of the season for me over SOUFEK, but he is close. He's very close. He's up there with the players that I'd debate over due to how well-rounded he is, the same as SOUFEK. Maybe with a bit more output in attack, and I'd think about it a bit more. The rest of the team is very similar, with a comment here at the bottom. Really wanted to put Rafinha in for Salah for what he enabled his team to do, but when it comes down to goal contributions, individual performance, Salah is on another level. Yeah, Rafinha came into mind, but I don't know if he did exactly that well to get into a team of the season. Ninth Codebreaker has a very similar team to me, however with Son and Salah in the forward line. I did have Son in my team of the season until the very last second. He's one of the few players who has got over 10 goals and 10 assists. However, with Jack Grealish and me wanting to put him in the team so badly, I just had to put him in over Son. Ali has got some different choices here. One interesting one that I have to point out in central midfield is Jorginho. I'm not sure he gets into the team of the season for me, but let me know what you think in the comments. Jorginho in team of the season? Not one that I've really seen around, as well as Pogba. I don't know if he gets into the team of the season either. Calais, as a Chelsea fan, has gone for Mendy in goal, a very understandable pick, as well as Kante. He's not exactly a midfielder that I considered. SOUČEK, Fernandes and De Bruyne got over him for me, but I totally understand the pick. Mahrez as well in the team. I really get that one. He has been good for City. This next one here, we've finally got someone else who's put SOUFEK in their team, which I really like. An interesting choice at centre-back, by the way. Vestergaard, he did say at the bottom, one Dane is required, so that's the reasoning. Cresswell in goal. He managed to get both of the West Ham fullbacks in there, as well as SOUČEK in the midfield. I like it. Some different picks into that one. And then the next one here, we've got Darlow as the goalkeeper in a team of the season. Not sure about that one. I'm not sure about Reece James at right back too. He's been impressive, but not team of the season. Pogba again, Rafinha, and Bamford as the striker. Another debatable one, but I respect the choice. I recommend that you don't miss out on future videos. Subscribe to Route 1 and like the video if you did enjoy.